कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मः सनातनाः धर्मनष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नमधर्मो abhibhavatyuta. Hello friends, this is the 40th shlok of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and in today's video we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first understand its meaning. So the shlok says Kulakshaye, which means in the destruction of the family or the clan. Pranashyanti kul dharmaha, which means the dharma of the clan or the family is destroyed. Sanatana, which means forever. Dharma nashte kulam, which means in the destruction of the dharma of the clan or the family, Kritsnama dharmo abhibhavatyuta, which means the adharma prevails or adharma goes up. So over here, Arjun is telling Sri Krishna that in the destruction of the clan or family, the dharma of the clan or family is destroyed, and in the destruction of the dharma of the clan or the family, the adharma then goes up. So, as we all know, in this portion of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun is basically very confused and he is not able to see very clearly, and so that's why in that confusion he is telling all these things to Sri Krishna. So what he has said is that he is not interested in fighting this war because he thinks that he will be killing his own kith and kin in this war, and by doing that he's going to destroy the family or the clan. And now over here he is explaining that if I destroy the family, then that is going to cause the destruction of the dharma, and with that destruction adharma is going to go up. So that's what he's telling over here. And this is a very common clash that keeps on going in the societies actually. So if you are watching all the videos on Bhagavad Gita, then you might have noticed in shlok 25, Krishna basically starts to confuse Arjun. Basically, he's playing with Arjun and he confuses him by saying that Bhishma and Drona are the ones who are the champions, or you can say who are the leaders of the Kaurav army. So it all started from there. That's the shlok where Krishna basically created doubt in the heart of Arjun, and since then Arjun got distracted, and you can clearly see why he is getting distracted over here. It's not that he's a very he's a person who is uh, very attached. Arjun is a very sensible person. He's a very knowledgeable person. He has performed a lot of tap, so he understands the things. And over here in this shlok, it starts to become clear that Arjun is not saying these things out of his attachment to the people, but he is saying it with a certain understanding, and that thing becomes starts to become clear from this shlok. So we can understand it. We can understand it from a society point of view pretty well. So in every society, we know that we follow certain rules and regulations, and those rules and regulations are performed so that a society can function in a proper manner. So in today's India, for example, we have our constitution. The constitution is upheld in a very high esteem, and the whole society of India or the whole nation of India actually abides by that. So you can say that that is the dharma of India. Now, this dharma is upheld by the most wise and the most senior people of our country. So our leaders are the ones who hold it. Our judiciary, our executive, our legislature, those are the ones who uphold it, and they are the ones who sustain it. Now, if you look at the Kuru clan, then you can see that the people who uphold that thing are Bhishma and Drona. Those are the people who uphold the tradition of the Kuru kingdom. And so when Krishna says that they are the ones who are the leader, of course Arjun gets confused because they are the ones who are upholding the tradition. And now if Arjun has to go and kill them, then the whole dharma of the Kuru kingdom is going to get destroyed. And so that's why he's saying that if I were to kill them, then that's going to lead to the destruction of the dharma of the whole Kuru clan forever. And when that happens, then adharma is going to go up. So this is definitely a very confusing thing for him. But you have to look at it from a different point of view also. Now, we can say that right now India is holding its tradition based on the constitution. But if you look back to 2000 years of our Indian history, then you know that Indian society has followed the dharma based on the Dharma Sutras or the Manusmriti. And we all know that there were certain traditions in that Dharma Sutra and Manusmriti which have been very detrimental to the well-being of the Indian society. If you look at Manusmriti, you can clearly see that it has upheld some bad traditions, such as the caste system in India, or the division of the society into different levels, and then some people becoming more powerful than the others. So all these traditions actually are good traditions as such. They are upheld in a certain state of the society, but as the society progresses, those traditions have to change also. And that's why in the modern times we have the legislature, and we have the legislature basically which can modify the Indian constitution. So that provision has to be there, which was not there in the previous times. And so very many bad practices came into existence in the Hindu society, which led to the destruction of Hindu society. So similar sort of a thing is happening over here, where in their attachment to the Kuru kingdom itself, the Bhishma and Drona have now ended up on the side of Adharm. So while they are holding up the tradition of the Kuru clan, in the process itself they have now become suppressive. Just as in the Hindu society, the tradition of the caste system itself became so suppressive that it started to then ending up in the side of the Adharm, and that is the thing which led to a lot of destruction of the Hindu society. So over here, when Arjun is saying that if I will kill my own family members, and especially Drona and Bhishma, then I will lead to the destruction of Dharma, is not really accurate. And this is what is going to be explained going forward by Sri Krishna. But the case that has been produced over here by Arjun over here is a very valid case. This is something which all the societies end up being debating about. Even in the modern times, we have seen many of such examples. For example, at the time when the Sati Pratha was abolished in India, there was a lot of opposition to it, where people said that if we'll remove this, then it's going to cause the destruction of dharma in the Hindu society. Then at the time of independence, where the laws were brought in, the Hindu laws were modified, where the Hindu men were not allowed to marry more than once. So they were not allowed to basically marry based on getting a son with multiple women. It led to a lot of opposition, where people said that this is going to lead to the destruction of the Hindu society. Then later on, we had the case of the Rajiv Gandhi. There was this Muslim woman case, Shah Banu case, which was there, which again led to a lot of problems. Even in the recent times, there is this Kerala temple Ayyappa case which is going on, which is something sort of a similar situation. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are bad as such, but the thing is that now, since we can debate over these things, it has become possible for us to modify our traditions. But in the ancient times, this thing was not allowed, so it was not very obvious at that time. So that kind of a message is what has been said over here. I think these are very deep messages, and I hope that I have explained this shlok well to you. Now you understand the deeper meaning over here. With that, I'll close this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.